Hello guys, it's Malimon. Today we will be recreating Trauma from Ento. It will be the remix of Joachim. So let me first show how we are starting. So again, as always, we are starting with kick and bass. In the original song, you can hear two different bass line. So let's start trying to listen to the song and try to understand which type of sounds we have. So to do that, I'm checking EQ. Let's enable it first. In here, it's almost 7 Hertz, as you can see. So it makes me think there's a constant bass sound there. So it could be sub bass. So then I'm hearing another plucky sound there. Something like dum dum dum. Dum dum dum. So it's another bass sound, but the area is not very low end. So to achieve that, I'm going to use two different bass sounds. I'm not sure if it fits to best practices. I'm just going to try to simulate the same behavior. So to do that, I have a kick. It's something like that. So I tried to cut. It's not sounding very good, to be honest. But that's okay for me. I'm not going to spend lots of time to find the perfect kick for that. But the thing here is I have a note in C sharp. Of course, we have sidechain from kick to the bass sound, but as you can see, it doesn't have the pluck sound. So to do that, I have another bass sound here in the same notes. But let's close side bass and check the second sub sound frequency. As you can see, they are almost in the same space. It's not okay to have two different sounds in the same space. Sending sidechain from Serum 2 to Serum 1. So here I have another limiter which is getting sidechain from Serum 2. So when the second bass note hits, it decreases the volume of the first bass sound. So three of them together is like this. So I can show. As you can see, first the kick limits the sound of the note in the first bass, and then the second sub bass limits the sound of the first sound. But there's always a bass sound, there's a pluck sound, and there's the kick. And I think that looks okay. Now I am open up the cutoff. Yeah, I think that's okay. So this was the way for kick and bass. And secondly, I am proceeding with pad. I have something like this. It's very hard to find exact pad sound and try to simulate it. I think Pastor spends lots of time to sound design, so it's almost impossible to create the same sound, at least with my experience. Let's leave it like that. So this follows the progression, chord progression actually. Also, there are lots of percussions. So I'm trying to hear all percussions one by one. So I think I found almost every element. Maybe I'm missing some. So let's hear all of them together. here I am using same shaker here, but I'm creating unique sample by clicking here, make unique a sample. I'm creating a new one, and I'm changing here. I'm changing the volume of the sample a little bit to hear some difference. They are basically same samples, but normally we don't expect to hear same hi-hats every time we hit. Yeah, they look a little bit different. So we have something like this. So I'm going to show with the opened up filter cutoff. It's actually like pad sound, but it's using LFO. So to simulate same behavior, I'm using quarter T. Parameters as rate, as you can see. Normally it sounds like this. And it goes to cutoff. So I heard with lots of Pulsar songs, he is using this LFO for, he was using with Millennium as well. Here, when we enable these ones, so it should sounds like this. It's pretty cool actually. Also, we are going to proceed with other elements, like when all of the bass sounds are disabled, there's another sound coming in. It's something like that. So at the very end of the break, I'm really enjoying while I'm creating these sounds, because when I almost hit the same sound, it sounds very good. It feels very analog to me, even though I'm not experienced with analog sounds. Creating, so you can find all of these presets in my Patreon channel. You can directly find this project from there as well. Trying to recreate this type of songs will allow you to understand the parts of the songs. So all of them together looks like they are bound to each other. After that, of course, we have lots of automation here. We are opening up the cutoff. But the thing here is the part that I am trying to find is melody. Of course, you can find the notes here, and you will be able to find this presets in my Patreon channel, as I said. This is the last sound we are creating here. So basically, we have one sub bass like this. We have analog synth, another oscillator, a sub bass here with low filter cutoff, and we have a little bit of distortion. And then we have another plucky bass sound. Here we are using envelope 2 in cutoff. Again, we are using a preset actually here. I didn't try to find correct song. Well, I was a little bit lazy for that. And then we have a pad, 2 different oscillators using basic MG and Monster 2. And we have some effects here. And then we have this plug sound. So let's check. Again, we are using a plug, basic mini, basic CJW. I don't know the exact sound of these oscillators, but I'm just changing one by one and try to find the exact matching one. And lastly, we have, again, this is similar to a bass sound. That's why we don't have other bass sounds here, because they are going to use the same space. Let's check its filter. As you can see, this is almost same space. So we don't want to consume same space. All of them together sounds like this. And lastly, I'm going to use something like this, because when we hear the original song, there's a bubble sound like an effect. So to recreate this, I'm using something like this that I found from a YouTube channel. Unfortunately, I forgot channel's name. So here you will be able to create an effect. This is the most similar one that I could create. But let's hear all of them together from starting point. And I'm going to use after break from original song just to connect them to each other. We created almost everything from, so let's hear from the starting point and you will be able to compare with the original song. I hope you enjoyed this. It would be great if you can support me from here. If you can subscribe me, I will be really appreciated. And if you can support me from Patreon, again, it would help me a lot. So thank you for your time and see you in next videos.